Yo, what's up? It's your boy Los, LOS. I'm here at the Flava Podcast Studio with my boy, my partner in crime, JJ. What's up, JJ?
What's up, my brother, man? Season 2 is upon us, episode 2, and I am so excited. We back in the building, baby.
But not just the building. We were back in our own studio.
Yes, sir.
2024. Actually, we got this in 2023, but we're coming out with the video in 2024.
Absolutely.
And man, it's been a journey getting this stuff together.
It has.
Making sure all these wires work.
Yeah.
The batteries work. Yeah. Ordering a lot of furniture.
Yeah.
But we've been having a great time, and I want to say thank you to everyone that was watching season 1 and everyone that was on season 1. All the guests that we have. Thank you so much for making Flava Podcast what it is today. And man, what's going on this year, man? What's going on this year with comedians? Yeah. So it's time for Hot Topics. Woo! So we're only going to have one hot topic today because this hot topic took about 3 hours to watch. So we're going to be talking about Katt Williams. JJ, what you know about Katt Williams?
He put the comedy world on notice, baby. I mean, yo, so for those that have been living under a rock for the past few days, your boy, Katt Williams, has came out and just really just put the world on notice. You know, there's a lot of famous comedians out there that have these sort of gatekeeper roles, which he kept applying, like saying, hey, they're gatekeepers or whatnot. There was a lot of things that I learned watching that, 3-hour YouTube show. And I kind of don't want to spoil it for the people watching. If you haven't watched it, please go to YouTube. It's trending right now. I think the last time I seen it was up to like 24 million.
All you see
views.
is memes. You see memes everywhere about it. It was actually 2 hours and 46 minutes, because I looked at it because I was like, man, this is taking long. But it was so interesting that it keeps you there. It keeps you there. Yeah, I want to introduce somebody that is on the tables with us today, and I want him to be a part of this hot topic. This man has been a music producer. He knows the music from beginning to end. He knows how to work every wire in a studio. He knows how to put it together, and he knows how to rap on it, right? Some reggaeton stuff, right? So he is from Chicago. He is doing great things. He's got great things coming out. This man has been in the lights of with Don Omar. He's been with Toby Love. He's been with so many artists that are out there.
Daddy Yankee,
and he had his own record contract himself. And I think he might be doing something new too. But we're gonna let him talk about it. Who am I talking about, ladies and gentlemen? I'm talking about the incredible Dennis Colon.
Thank you for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you for being here, man. Thank you for blessing us.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you for blessing us, because
you're actually our first guest.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say.
In our studio,
the new studio,
man. Thank you for blessing us, man.
I got to be the first one.
Broke it in, man.
Broke
it in, brother. Welcome, man. Welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You know who broke in our first season? First season for episode 1?
No.
One of my pastors.
Really?
Yeah. So this is a blessing to season 2 that you bless us as well, because I believe you have a great heart, and I believe the walk that you're walking now, you know, in your life, that's your purpose. It's your purpose, and we're gonna get into that, but we're gonna get back into this hot topic.
Let's go.
Katt Williams, what's going on with Katt Williams, JJ?
Well, all right, I guess if you guys don't want to know what happened, just go ahead and walk out the room, because we're going to spoil it right now. So,
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert right now. I'll give you guys a few seconds. So anyways, I was actually surprised with Katt Williams. So I've seen Katt Williams perform live at the Reggaeton Theater, and I have to say this man is one of the funniest person ever. But he has something to get off his chest, right? And he chose the Shay Shay podcast, which was the platform that he chose to air his piece, right? So there seems to be some things going on around in the comedy world, and I didn't know it was so competitive. You know,
It's mad competitive, man.
No,
mad competitive.
That's what everything, you know.
Yeah, but comics. I mean, I didn't know it was so deep.
Oh yeah, it's real deep. Yeah.
They be going at it all the time. I mean, him and Kevin Hart had a long history of not liking each other, not wanting to be in the same building with each other.
Wow.
It's all competition with those guys. Like, you know, it's a small group,
Yeah, but the stuff that he was saying as well.
Yeah, maybe you know that stuff is true. Sometimes you know he went in there and started whistleblowing. You know,
He just put people on notice.
you know,
Well, he was talking about
I felt him, man.
I think he had a little bit too much to drink. He had a lot of whiskey on that table. I don't know if you saw that. He was sipping on that thing like
he did. I think with the people he brought up Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, Ricky Smiley,
it was funny.
Kevin Hart. He brought up even P. Diddy, the daddy. He kind of put it out there that the stuff that's going on with P. Diddy is kind of true. I mean, he was just spilling the tea on people. Who else did he talk about that you guys know of?
Man,
I think he was talking about Bernie Mac.
but see, Bernie Mac, he has like he respects the shit out of
Oh
him.
yeah,
Like,
he's
that
from
was
Chicago,
the one.
right?
Yeah,
Bernie Mac's from
yeah.
Chicago.
Chi-town, baby.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Funny dude, man.
Yeah,
He's probably one of
man.
the funniest dudes. Yeah, Bernie Mac, man.
Absolutely.
Rest
So
in peace.
he holds him high in regards. You know, that was the only comedian, him and Earthquake,
Okay.
that he did not talk crap about. But I don't see him talking because everything that came out his mouth made sense.
It did.
It kind of aligned.
It did.
It
It did.
aligned.
You know, I was trying to find some cracks. I was like, you messed up. You know, you listen to somebody, you trying to see where they fumble.
Oh yeah, no, he was.
And he was straight on. I mean, at one point he had Shannon Sharp like taken back. So Shannon Sharp had a list of questions, right, for the interview. And if you guys notice, he was not able to ask all those questions because Katt Williams, and his demeanor, that's what really took me back, was he was calm and he was just spitting.
He was Katt Williams. That's how Katt Williams is. He's just laid back and he's gonna give it to you, and then they're looking at you and he's like, I know, I just hurt you.
Well, you know
With
what?
a smile.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what really took me back was how smart he really is. I mean, this guy's really smart, right? Like
Yeah,
his
he's very,
vocabulary.
intelligent. You know.
Yep.
He comes from the bottom of the bottom.
Absolutely.
I mean, he came up. I think that's why he had a lot of respect for Bernie Mac because they both come from the streets. You know, and they come up with materials, right? I think that's one of the main things he was upset about.
That's right.
You know, that people were taking material from, you know, Bernie Mac and claiming it as their own, and there was a lot of things, you know, with the King of Comedy tour. How, you know, like Steve Harvey's like, I'm coming in last, but it's your show.
Yeah, I
You come
seen
back.
that.
Like
I
he's like
seen
me,
that.
right? I'm
Yeah.
a performer, right?
Yeah.
I go open up for Daddy Yankee.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be the last one on the show. It's Daddy Yankee's
Right.
concert. You know, of course he's gonna be on last. It's his show. So there's a lot of different things that I feel that, you know, is going on behind the scenes that, you know, there's always
A lot of stuff is going on.
stories,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
There's always
right.
A lot of stuff's going on behind the scenes. He even said that Cedric the Entertainer took one of his jokes, and he was cool with it until they had some beef. You know what I'm saying? So he proved it too. So he showed it was like 1997, and then 2000 something. Cedric the Entertainer was using his jokes at every comedy concert he was doing at the end.
I believe it happened with Joe Rogan. He put Joe Rogan's a comedian as well.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And
I forgot about that.
I forgot who was the comedian, but he was using a bunch of stuff from different people. I think he put them. I was on YouTube and everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he jumped on stage and said, "Man, that's not even your joke." I'm
Really?
like, yeah, they went at it, man. It was funny. It was a funny thing. You guys gotta check it out. Joe Rogan called him out, so I think that's what kind of like what Katt Williams did. Kind of did something similar to what Joe Rogan did. Forgot who was the name of the other comedian, but he was pretty famous. He was a pretty famous comedian, but can't remember his name off topic. Maybe you guys can look it up.
We'll
But
take a look after this.
yeah, check it out. But he did the same thing. But Joe Rogan jumped on stage and called him out.
Wow.
Yeah,
I didn't know Joe Rogan was a comedian.
Yeah.
Oh,
big
hell,
time,
oh,
big time.
Like, seriously, isn't Joe Rogan the
The podcast.
That was
guy.
before the
No,
podcast.
he's the podcast guy, but he's the Daredevil guy.
Well, he did that. He's the UFC announcer.
What was that called? That show?
Fear Factor.
Fear Factor guy.
Fear
That-
Factor.
That's
You
how
know,
I
he's
know
a
him from.
kickboxing champion too, right?
Yeah, he does
Bro.
jiu-jitsu. He
Yeah.
does he does his thing, man. Joe Rogan, and he's a real dude. He's gonna tell you how it is.
Yup.
Word.
Yup.
But going back to you know, like you know, the whole situation with Katt Williams, it was kind of the same thing. It was just there's a lot of stuff going on, and he was just like, look, everybody they're gonna know one way or another. But I feel like he just had too much to drink.
You think so?
And it took over. You know, people get a little
little
tipsy.
That's why they do it,
the
right?
lips start to.
And he's been blackballed before, so
Oh yeah.
you think he's gonna get blackballed again?
See,
Look at
that's
David
the thing.
Chappelle.
But
Yeah.
see, that's the thing. I think he can never be blackballed. Now, so I'm gonna tell you guys something. This guy has a loyal fan base where he doesn't need nothing. He doesn't have to promote his stuff. All he has to do is say, "Hey, I'm going to a concert," and people, or he's gonna have a comedy show, and people. He has a loyal following.
Well,
already.
the live aspect you're talking about, right? More or less, because you know,
he's
someone
gonna-
wants to blackball you on like entertainment, like you got broadcasters. You feel me?
Yeah, but see, he makes so much money on a one. So this is, I think he mentioned, this is what his 100 city tour.
Yeah.
You're making all this money. You don't need to be on any freaking show. That's why he could talk where he's talking
Yeah,
right now.
I believe so.
You know, so this is why he is talking the way he is, and that's why the other comedians, are so-called gatekeepers, right? And they're, they can't say everything he's saying.
Right.
But-
No,
but that's
you're
just my
absolutely.
perspective, though.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
I think he has.
So was he right or wrong for doing it?
I think for me, that's the type of person I am. If I see something
respect
going
him.
on, I would say, I don't sugarcoat nothing.
Was there a necessity for him to say it? Do you think?
I think his friends. I think Bernie Mac was a good friend of his, and I think his integrity was in question, and I think he stood up for his friend, because
I like that.
Bernie Mac's not here. He's rest in peace. He's gone. He's not here, so he can't voice he can't back himself up. So I guess he felt like he needed to be his voice, right? I think he needed to say that, That's my opinion.
That's who I want in my corner. If I'm not alive or I'm not around and somebody defends me, that's how I would like a friend of mine to defend me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When you're out the room,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you they got you.
Exactly.
They
No,
got
exactly.
you.
Exactly.
It's like you're there. You're still in the room. What are you
Right.
doing? What are you
Because
doing?
that happens, right?
Absolutely, all the time.
Like it's happened with me in the studio. Like I'll go in the studio and I'm
sit
like,
there.
look, this, and then as soon as I leave, they be like, ese no sabe lo que está haciendo.
Yeah.
See, that's why I got cameras everywhere. I listen to
you
everything.
never.
Yeah. He's the eye in the sky, bro. He's Big Brother, man.
It's like, why you call me in then?
I know what you said.
Right. But yeah, man, I think that's what. At the end of the day, I think that's what he.
I respect him for that too.
Yeah, I
man.
think he just stood up for his friend. I think that's what triggered him.
Yeah.
'Cause I think if you guys look it up, like I think him and Bernie Mac were like brothers. So
I didn't know that.
yeah. It's a tight knit crew, man. It's like Adam Sandler and all his friends. You see Adam Sandler's movies, all the same dudes are in that same.
So you think it's not
They're tight.
it's not bitterness then? You don't think it's bitterness that that's why he did it? Because these other comedians are actually, they're big.
Yeah,
They're big. He's big. I'm not gonna take that away from him, but
Yeah.
you're talking about
He's
Steve
definitely-
Harvey. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about Cedric, and those guys are huge.
Well,
Kevin Hart. Come
I
on.
could relate this. There's a comedian from Chicago as well. He died of a drug overdose. Chris Farley. You remember him? Fat guy in the little cup. Well, that guy, he passed away and he overdosed. You don't see nobody bad mouthing him because guess what? Who's his best friends? Adam Sandler, Spade,
the Blues Brothers.
the Blues Brothers.
Oh yeah.
That was that.
SNL period.
Exactly. You talk stuff about Chris Farley, you're gonna have to deal with all these dudes. Bernie Mac, that's who he had in his corner. It was big Katt Williams, and he stepped up, man. I don't know. I feel like he did it justice, man.
Well, I'm just hoping that nobody gets slapped for it.
Right? I want to see him come up and smack him.
Right.
Keep Bernie's name out your mouth.
I feel sorry for Katt Williams if he does that to Steve Harvey.
Steve Harvey's a big boy.
Yeah, Katt Williams be flying somewhere.
Bro, he was busting jokes on them too, right?
Yeah, he
like,
was. He was
busting
putting him
them.
on blast for sure.
Talking about-
I'm gonna hit Cedric and turn him right there in that gut part right there.
No, he was talking about his toupee. I was like,
He was talking about everything.
He was talking about everybody. Hilarious.
Yeah.
talking about his lining. This man got a perfect line. You know that was fake.
I think who was interviewing him?
Shay.
Shay, right?
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
like, I think he even said, I think you're drinking too much, Cat.
He did say it.
I think he did say that because he was
He was
pounding
trying to
those
stop
drinks,
him.
man.
He was trying to stop him. He was trying to stop, like some politicians talk too much, and the
Yeah.
interviewer's like, okay, I'm trying to switch it, and the politician's talking too much. It's like,
Yeah.
you can't
They
do
should have put Coca-Cola in those bottles and be like,
Yeah,
like,
pick 'em
front.
up.
But I think something he said really like I was like,
What was that?
thinking when he said the truth doesn't need motivation.
Yeah.
He be having some one-liners, bro. That's
he
good.
says, sir, when Shannon Sharp, Shay's the name of the podcast,
Mm-hmm.
Shannon Sharp, when he was like, yo, let me take that. He was like, excuse me, sir. But no, I just had one squig, and you had more than me, sir.
And he takes the shit.
And then he takes the squig. He was like, but the truth doesn't need motivation.
Yeah.
That kind of hit me. I was like, whoa, there's some truth behind that. So
Yeah, I
speaking
think
a lot of facts, man.
I think he hit the nail on the head. To be honest, I
I
think
agree with him. I agree with
I
him.
want to see what Steve Harvey has to say.
Well, who
we'll
was
see.
it? Cedric? Was it Cedric said something? I think Cedric said he's the greatest comedian out there.
Who?
I don't know if it was he was
Steve
just,
Harvey?
Cedric said that about Cat.
Oh, Cat, yeah.
Recently.
Yeah, Cat's
after
one-
after
Cat-
it came out.
Cat, I think he'll be my top 10.
He is my top. He might be my top one.
Cat.
Really?
It's between him and Kevin Hart.
Who's your top comedian? Who's,
Oh, what, from all times or
Yeah,
not?
Come on,
all
it
time,
better be
all
that
time.
name. It better be
Man.
that 90s, 80s name.
Mine's is going to be definitely be Richard Pryor.
Richard Pryor?
So a lot of
Ah,
people.
okay. It's interesting.
Richard Pryor is one of the funniest comedian.
Okay.
But I remember him, and I remember back in I'm 48 years old, right? So I remember back in the day they used to have Laserdisc.
Okay.
Before DVDs came out, it was called Laserdisc. And the first comedian I seen that cursed and everything and freaked me out, and I remember my mom telling me, you can't watch this, but I still sneaked in and watched it, was Eddie Murphy, Raw.
Eddie Murphy, yeah.
Brother.
His brother's hilarious.
Charlie Murphy.
Charlie Murphy.
He's
He's
another
hilarious.
Yeah.
So-
Have you ever seen him on the Dave Chappelle show?
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
I didn't watch a lot of Dave Chappelle,
I watched
which,
all of it.
which now I feel bad because
Oh, he's-
it's legendary. That show is
Oh,
legendary.
he's growing up. David Chappelle's probably my number one.
Yeah.
I'll give you a name that a lot of people don't realize. Like you said, man, he's a comedian. Joe Rogan, right? You were saying, he's a comedian. John Leguizamo.
Johnny Legs. That's
Man,
my boy.
that's
That's my
my
guy.
So shout out to John
John
Leguizamo.
Leguizamo.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Growing up
He is
as a
funny.
Hispanic, like I'll be like, man, I see all, man, he's Hispanic.
Yep.
He's talking, he's
Just
talking
not comedy.
como nosotros.
He could do a lot more than
Oh
comedy.
yeah,
man.
he's a very
He's a
when you-
one-man show.
When you see Inspiration,
Yeah.
yeah, he was one of the guys we used to watch on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was one of the first comic book guys, a villain. He was on Spawn. He
Spawn,
was
that's
the clown.
right. Yeah,
Come
yeah,
on,
yeah.
man.
I love his
You were like,
character,
what?
man.
Yeah.
He played a good character.
Yeah, he made it funny too. Like
Yeah.
he did it justice, but a lot of people like don't give him the
The
props.
props,
that-
yeah. He's actually one of my favorite. When he's here in Chicago, I try to see him. Here he knows my face.
Yeah.
He knows I don't got my face strong gear on, but he knows the face strong gear because I always wore it to his.
We
to
actually
his,
got to work
to
with,
shows.
with John all about the holiday movie. So
Oh, yeah?
yeah.
Oh,
My
okay.
brother was in that
Love.
movie. Yeah, he
Love.
was Luis Gomez's stand-in.
Okay.
So he's another comedian as well, right? Luis Gomez. He's another Hispanic comedian. We have a lot of them.
He's funny.
Is
too.
he funny?
Oh,
Yeah,
he's funny. Yeah, he's funny.
man.
I don't know about funny. I
was
love
a
him as
Carlito
I love him
I
as
like him.
an actor.
But-
You know, in Carlito Way, he did that. He killed that part in
He did.
Carlito's Way.
Come on, Poppy. Let me just take him out real quick.
I think he's more like funny. Like he just acts and he's just funny.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean? But no, he's.
But he's a comedian.
I mean, I believe so.
Yeah?
I believe so. I believe they all started as comedians.
What
Then
was,
they
what
branched
was
out.
his name in Carlito's Way? Y'all remember?
Pachanga.
Pachanga. Yeah, that was Pachanga.
That was
Yeah.
Pachanga.
Love that. Killed my boy at the end. I didn't like that though.
Yeah. You know, Hispanic. If you're Hispanic or black, you're going first, bro. Sorry.
No, but he killed Carlito.
He did kill Carlito. No, that was John.
No, that was Johnny. That was Johnny. That was Johnny. That's
He came
right.
back.
Danny's from the
right.
Bronx.
Johnny
What
from the
happened to
Bronx.
Pachanga? Did he die?
I don't.
I remember him at the last scene. He was in the nightclub.
Right.
Did they throw him down? No, they threw Johnny down the
They threw
stairs.
Johnny down the stairs.
He set him up.
But like that's what I'm saying. Like you got all these comedians, man. Like they just branch out on different things, and I think that's what Katt Williams was saying. Like you can't monopolize the industry. It's a small circle. It's just like the music world. It's a very very small circle of people, and when you start manipulating and trying to take credit for stuff, you're gonna have people like Katt Williams that are gonna be like, nah, this ain't happening, bro.
Word.
And I'm sure, like, you know,
I respect that,
John
man.
Leguizamo has his, like, that circle they grew up with, circle, like Chris Farley, and they have, you know, their circle, and he's there, like, yo, this ain't happening around my watch.
Yeah,
He-
I love Johnny because Johnny's very vocal,
Absolutely.
extremely vocal. He sees
He's
something
another
wrong,
one.
he will say something.
He had a comedy podcast on Netflix about the.
Which one?
I forget the name of it, but he John Leguizamo I'm talking about.
Yeah.
A comedy special on Netflix about the creation of the United States.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
he
the history.
made the history, right? The history.
Yes.
It was fun.
That's the one I saw live.
It was
I saw
funny,
it,
but
yeah.
when you go and you listen to it, you're like, dang.
You get a little mad. You get a little mad.
Yeah, you get it. You get a little mad. You're
Yeah,
like, what the heck
yeah.
is really going on? You know,
Yeah.
like he's,
Oh, yeah.
but
The real deal.
he's the real deal, for sure.
100%, 100%. So, Katt Williams, don't get slapped. Just please, dude, don't get slapped. You're too small. So we're gonna switch this up, and we're gonna be talking about you, my brother. You have done things in your life that is amazing. You have gone places. I believe you've gone to different countries as well.
Few.
So, can I ask you, what countries have you been?
I've been to Spain. I've been to Brazil.
España. We're in Spain. I got stop you there.
Madrid.
Madrid.
Yeah.
Barcelona. I go to Barcelona at least once a year.
Um,
I've been to Madrid once,
Different place.
and then I've been to Catalonia
Catalonia.
in Spain, and the next one I want to go to is southern Spain. I forgot
Magala?
Yeah. It's more tropical whatnot.
Yeah, it's more Caribbean.
It's actually where I want to retire. So we'll see what happens in 5 years when I retire.
Yeah, Spain's beautiful.
Yeah.
I know a producer that's from Spain. I work with pretty closely.
Okay.
So get to travel here and there. Supposed to be going to Colombia in February.
Man, let's go.
With-
Jay,
with-
get a ticket. Let's get tickets.
I gotta get a passport first.
Oh, you got no passport?
Everybody says that.
Ah,
man. Like,
I
you're
get that
not
passport.
living. You're not living. You're not living.
So hopefully it goes through. It's with another artist. So the privilege of being a producer is that you get to travel on other people's expenses. Not
That's right.
Yeah, hey,
Yeah,
you want me to
yeah.
go? I'll pay my flight and I'll
And the
produce
hotel.
whatever. Yeah.
And the hotel. I could find something to eat.
Yeah,
Just
there you
hotel
go.
and
Yeah.
flight.
Yeah,
I'm
so
good.
Puerto Rico, I know that's like not a country, but I always pride myself in saying it is.
our country.
It's our country.
so
Yeah, I do a bit of traveling and stuff like that.
okay. So you've been to Spain. Of course, you've been to Puerto Rico. Wherever. What other countries have you been to?
Medellin,
Colombia.
Colombia. I've been there. Germany.
Okay.
Been to Germany.
What you do in Germany?
Some music, some EDM
Okay.
stuff. So I do a lot of little different things there. It's big EDM culture there.
All right.
House music.
Mm-hmm.
It's still pretty big in Berlin and Germany.
I can see that.
Yeah, it's huge out
I
there.
can totally see that.
A lot of people be like, man, you do that type of music? I'm like, man, wherever I get it. If it sounds good, that's what I do. I grew up listening to music. Since I was a little kid, I think I was born with a guitar in my damn hand.
So that's good that you brought up little kid. So I'm gonna take you back to when were you born? The year
The year 83.
83.
Yeah.
So the year of 93. Who were you?
Oh man.
You're 10 years old now.
Then, man, I was always to be honest, I'll be honest with you, man. I was a real sick kid, man. I was an asthmatic as a kid. I had asthma attacks. My mom had asthma. My grandmother had asthma. Actually, my mom passed away from asthma attacks. So
Sorry to hear
yeah, it's in our blood. But yeah, I was always sick. But my mom always used to be like, always putting in music, just to cheer me up. She always used to sing to me, like always like. So I was always trying to get better kid type at that age, I think I broke out of that like around high school.
Okay.
I think that's when I started playing baseball, getting into sports, jiu-jitsu and wrestling, and more of competitive sports, and I kind of like grew out of it. Still have it, but it's more controlled.
Okay.
But
okay.
yeah, I was always into music as a kid. I think that's what defines me now.
Okay. So 10 years after that, which is 2003, who were you then?
Was coming out of high school, like, briefly on that around that year.
Mm-hmm.
I was playing baseball. Went to Roberto Clemente High School, played baseball there. Won 2 city championships there.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Yes.
first city high school to go downstate and play with the state. You're looking at like private schools, De La Salle, Brother Rice, those big schools, and I never seen a city team.
Wow.
Yeah, we even had the high school commission come down and be like, yeah, you guys have a lot of players that are throwing too hard. We want to know like where they were born, where they were, because we were like Hispanic kids. They thought we had this one kid that's throwing like 90 miles an hour. So they were like investigating our school because they thought that we went to Puerto Rico. They got all these players from Puerto Rico.
They got these kids from the island, huh?
Man, we were killing people in baseball.
It's in the blood. They gotta know it's in our blood.
Yeah,
It don't matter where they take us. It's in our blood.
Yeah, we had this one guy. He was, man. We would say he was like the Sammy Sosa, man. Like he would put. I don't know if you're familiar with Roberto Clemente. It's like on Western. Then you had another school.
I went to Roberto Clemente. Right. Yes.
But we had one guy. He would hit the ball so hard that he would break the windows.
On the factory?
On the
school.
At the Jose
From the field.
Really?
From the field. He would hit the ball.
What
so
year is
hard.
this?
This was around 2003, 2004.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
His name was Booby. Oh yeah, he would put it 420 feet.
That's like some
they
Sammy Sosa, Martin McGuire type
when I
of
tell you,
power.
they put gates on the windows, like those gates,
Yeah.
because he would break the windows. He would put them on the roof. Yeah, we had a great team, man.
That's
Awesome.
I think we had one guy go to the major leagues, Victor Diaz. He went to the Mets. So shortstop. Yeah, we had some.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we had high expectations at that.
Well, baseball is known for. Clemente is known for baseball.
Yeah.
So we have some great players. I mean, I was there in. Jesus Christ, I was there in '88.
I should have brought
88.
I should have brought
You got
my
the ring?
rings.
You got the ring?
I should have brought them, man. Yeah, we have the city championship ring. They're big too,
So
man.
you know what's so amazing about that story you were just saying right now? You guys won 2 state championships.
City championships.
City-
Yeah,
oh,
but
city.
we were the first team to go to state, the Final Four. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so you guys were in the Final Four.
Yeah, we were in the Final Four. I think it was like 1979 was the last time that city high school went downstate and actually won a game. And
that's very significant and very. What's so impressive about that is that there's a difference as far as funding, right? So equipment, stuff like that, recruiting players and whatnot. These schools that are outside the city, their funding is way bigger than what it is a city school, right? On the west side of Chicago. Yeah. And so for you guys to go out there and just represent the city, man, and making it to like the finals and whatnot, man, salute to y'all. Because even the equipment is you know what I'm saying?
We would
coach.
we would I remember we would have like those big buses you know you load up on a buses. They're like big buses. Our buses used to break down. We used to have those handicap buses where it was like a half a bus. We didn't have a full bus. We have a half a bus.
Short bus, huh?
Man, everybody using you use your catcher's equipment. Like I didn't have no money. Like one of my good friends, he was a catcher as well. He used to be like, here, just use my glove. We used to switch gloves. Just to
see that.
Yeah, we didn't have like bats. Like our bats were cracked, and we would tape up the bottom of would, man. Yeah, it was.
And y'all still made it happen.
And they still made it happen.
I remember the 2002 year when we first we went into the tournaments. We had a big fallout with our coaches because that was one of the things we wanted as equipment, and we had these old. We call them the Banana Republics. They was these uniforms from like 1970. It was like, bro, they didn't even have buttons. They were pullovers. Well, man, they were so tight. We'd be playing with these uniforms, and And I like to like thrive myself because that team, a lot of those guys from that year, they're gone on to do better and bigger things. Some of them are police officers, some of them are firefighters. You know, and just to see that core group succeed and have like, you know, not go to so many funerals. Like, you know, we've had friends that, man, you know, that's what we did. We went to the funerals, not the graduations, you know. And it just shows that, you know, when you have a good program, kids have a better chance to do things because they're more focused on baseball. You know, like we were focused on, man, we used to come at 6 a.m. We used to have the tool days, come in, practice in the morning. Then we had this thing called team gym that our coaches put together. So he would put everybody that was on a baseball team in the same gym class and at the same time, and we used to call it team gym. And instead of doing, you know, recreational basketball, we would be setting up tees, hitting batting cage, we'd be practicing. So not only that we played, we did morning practice, we had team gym, which was in the middle of the day. We had fall ball, and we had summer ball, which is fall ball is like in the winter time. And then spring, we were playing baseball all year round. And that's only heard of in places like Florida.
Florida or Texas. Where it's warm all the time.
Right.
That's why you have a big, like, that's why a lot of players get drafted from those cities.
Yeah, because they're playing all year round. Like Puerto Rico, you're playing all year round.
Yeah.
So we don't have the time to be on the streets and to do, you know, some of us had to do, you know, tutoring because we couldn't make our grades, right? So a lot of us had to do tutoring. So they kept us so busy, and I applaud those teachers and those coaches, like our coach, you know, Tom Leone, David Bain, Exodus Pettis, like all those guys, coaches, man. Like you are not forgotten. Like, you know, rest in peace, Redmond. Like he was one of the guys that really believed in me because I didn't have the talent like a lot of these guys. Like, you know, one of the guys that had these, you know, home runs every day. I had to work hard. You know, I had to, you know, if I wanted to play, I had guys that were being drafted.
Wow.
You know, scouted. So we're like,
wow.
So these guys were like, don't be discarded. Don't do that. Just work. You see them, they work it. Come do extra. Come do, and that applies to daily life, like now.
Absolutely.
You know, like now, like you go look at it as a kid, you don't really think about that stuff, but you look at stuff that, you know, you look at it now, you're like, man, it's just like that. Like, working is just like that. You want that position? Facts. Come in and work harder.
That's right. Facts.
You want these things? Come in and put the time in, and you
nothing but facts.
Nothing, you know, nothing. You cannot do anything, and if you put your mind to it, you can do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So now I got to ask you, since we're talking about now, what are you been doing lately? What have you? Okay, so you've worked with Don Omar. What have you done with Don Omar?
So we've done a couple production stuff for Don. We've brought him to Chicago for a couple shows. That was like my early stages of doing music with the label. It's called Sudakial Family. We would open up shows for him in the city. Those who knows, like those days of Chromium nightclub, 720 nightclubs.
Most definitely.
Those were the early days of my 20s. We would open up. We would aprovechar, como que decimos. We would open up the shows for them. So we would get the connections. We'll make phone calls, get promoters. You know what I'm talking about.
No, I know. What are you talking about?
Yeah, back in the day, get us to do shows for you. You know, no, but we'll talk to promoters. You know, we'll say, hey, we know the manager. Come get, have him do shows. That's one of the days when he had Dale Don Dale. He was like really, really, really.
It's blown up.
Blown up, yeah. He was at a high peak. I think he was at the peak, like his highest peak right there. So we worked with Eliel, doing some recording for him, doing some shows for them. So that was one of the biggest opportunities that I had.
What do you mean by recording though?
So he would come in the studio and we would record him.
Okay.
Singing.
So you'll take care of the boards and all that stuff.
Control the boards, control the sounds. He would come in and drop, and these were for like ideas for songs. So if he was working on his album or anything like that, we would they call them concept songs.
Okay.
So like he would come in, drop concept songs.
Okay.
And then we would send the files. we'll have to sign an NDA.
So you were there a lot of times when a song is about to come out and you already know it. You know that song.
I got songs that I have of him that are not even out, that never came out.
Never came out. That happens a lot. Doesn't work with a lot of artists.
Yeah. But we just have, we signed that NDA, so we cannot.
You can listen to it, but no one else can.
I can, I could pull it up, but that's the thing. Like, and when you work with people at that level, they have to know that they can trust you too, because that's how stuff leaks. Songs, you ever remember those days of the pirateado? Like you have songs before they come out.
What was it called? What's it called? Napster.
Napster. Yeah. Oh my God, that was huge. But back then we didn't have Instagram. We didn't have Facebook. We didn't have this. We couldn't talk about any of this. So a lot of the stuff that we did was word of mouth. We used to stand outside. We call them street teams. I don't know if you remember that.
I do.
We used to have the posters, CDs. I used to, I miss those days actually, because nowadays the streaming platforms they're killing the industry, man. The Spotify, the iTunes, they're killing the industry. A lot of people think, oh yeah, we can get our music out there. We can get our music. You can, but you're not making as much as you used to. I used to, man. I remember our Moneymakers Volume 2 compilation that we did. We had Check on there, Calle 13, Lexi Firo, whole bunch of people. We were selling 2,000 units, 3,000 units every week at $10. You make the math. Now you go online, you put your song online, and you're streaming it for $1. You get
half a penny or even
20 cents.
Look at that.
And then pray to God that I know guys that have millions of streams, millions. Talking about millions. I got 10,000 streams right now on one of my songs. $10.
Is that what you get a check?
Yeah.
You get a check for
you get a streaming,
From the recording.
From the digital platform people.
Okay.
Like Spotify, iTunes, but they're taking 20%, right? Or something like that. But if you look at it, for 20% of millions of artists that they're taking, that's adds up.
They rich.
Yeah, they rich, but guess what? I think who said it the most? I think it was Snoop Dogg. Look up Snoop Dogg on him talking about streaming and how he's like, oh, I had 1 billion streams. Where's my money? I think they cut him a check for like $10,000 with $1 billion streams. So you sell them for $1 each, and he's a big star. That's $1 billion, man. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, definitely. So I wanted to talk to you about the process of music production and writing productions that you have done before, and the mixing and the masterings. What's the process? What does that look like?
Oh man, it's a very strenuous process. Like, let's just say we're writing for a certain artist. The labels are, if you're signed to a bigger label, the labels control a lot of that stuff. Executive A&Rs. A lot of people are independent now. So it's a lot easier than it was, I would say, 10 years ago. Because 10 years ago, you had to go through a whole loop. You had to go through executives, producers, A&Rs, managers, bro managers. Then, if you're blessed, you'll be sitting down with the artist. Yeah. I remember doing. We did "Sexy Lady" with Legion Records. That was the label I was signed with. They were under Atlantic Records.
Sexy Lady.
Yeah, hey, sexy lady.
No, I kind of knew what it was, but
but I gotta move on.
Yeah,
it's like a big song. It was
Okay.
a hit. We were there from the beginning to the end.
Okay.
With that song, and it was like, let's say 10 producers, plus a writer, plus engineer. So it's just all of us brainstorming. Like, hey, you should do this. You should add ad-libs here. You should put this. And then when the artist leaves, we're still in there,
Right.
mixing vocals, editing vocals, submitting this, submitting that. And then the whole process was like rigorous. You're talking about 16, 17 hours for one song, and then months, maybe a year, 2 years before the song gets released.
Wow.
So they're holding on to that song.
Yeah.
That's a hit, right? It's
It's
a
a
hit.
hit
It's gonna make
record.
them millions, and it's just sitting somewhere collecting dust until they're ready to bring it out.
And that's if it comes out, because I
Yeah.
know sometimes it doesn't come out, right?
Well, yeah, sometimes it doesn't come out. So sometimes, like, I got songs that I've got with some big names, and I still have them there, and I just like, oh, I want to put this out, but I can't,
Why can't you?
Well, it's legal aspects. You sign NDAs, you sign contracts, or Like for an example, I was with Atlantic Records when I became an artist. I was a producer, so that's two different things, right? A lot of people get those confused as well, right? So you got a beat maker, you got a producer. A lot of people think, well, ain't that the same thing? No. So a beat maker makes the beats, right? You got a guy that actually goes in there and he'll play the piano and play the drums and play. A producer can do that, but also he'll get paid. Like, you play the guitar, come here, I need you to play this. You need to do this, okay, I need you to do this. More like for an example, like you mentioned P. Diddy, right? P. Diddy, I feel he's more of a producer because he brings in the people that.
So it's like a composer.
He's a composer, exactly. He doesn't. You put him in front of a keyboard, can't play you a note.
Nope. But he knows what
he knows what he likes, what he can hear.
Right. He's like, okay, this is it.
This is what I want to hear.
This is what they want to hear.
It's the same thing like DJ Khaled.
Yeah.
DJ Khaled, he was a DJ in his time. I love DJ Khaled. All respect to that whole squad. I love him. But you put him in front of a keyboard, can't play. He can't play no keyboard.
Mary had a little lamb.
Yeah, but he knows music.
That's right.
He was a DJ, right? So that was the aspect. So that's a producer.
Yeah.
But you get a person like Scott Storch, put him in front of that piano.
Kill it.
Did you see?
Kill it.
He's gonna
Did
kill
you
it.
see that documentary
Yeah,
on him on YouTube?
absolutely. And that's a good example. Do you know how
watched
many
that whole-
hits that man has made that never got credit for?
A lot. And
A lot.
And who he made hits for is
Yeah.
like, and the songs.
Yeah, I remember
And how
that.
he got started.
Yeah,
Right?
you
Man,
remember?
Scott Storch is a bad. So you got to check out that YouTube, his documentary. It's just worth. You'll know a lot about Scott Storch after that.
Yeah,
That's some good stuff.
he's one of my inspirations for sure. Him, Ronnie Jerkins, they call him the Dark Child.
Okay, yeah.
He produced for like Beyonce,
Yeah.
Michael
So
Jackson.
you said Jerkins?
Yeah, Ronnie.
See, I didn't know that name, but I knew Dark Child.
Yeah, Dark Child.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
his tag.
yeah.
He was one of the first producers to do tags, like producer tags.
Okay.
Dark Child, right?
Yeah.
Right.
With those cool stuff.
I
Like,
remember that.
Who does it now?
Everybody.
Everybody does that.
does that.
Sometimes I feel like I'm just listening to a damn tag. It's like I don't do tags. I don't do tags at all.
Cannon.
Cannon. Everybody has that.
Another one.
Another one. It's like everybody throws some tags on there, but he was one of the first ones to do it, and it was like really low key because you wouldn't. Hey, who's that Dark Child?
Dark shot. That he'll say that low, right? Come on, nice
Dark
and low.
Child,
Yeah.
Dark Child, but he produced for so many people and wrote for a lot of people as well. I was able to do a seminar with him back in 2006, and it was mind blowing.
Really?
Just mind blowing. Yeah, man. Just the things that he does, and I was like, man, I want to do that. I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't always baseball, right? Never was the biggest talent. Never was the star of the team. But I put in that work, man.
Man, I love hearing that, man.
I put in that work.
I love hearing that.
Yeah.
I mean, going back to what he said earlier today, where he wasn't the most talented,
Nah.
but me, myself, I believe, listen, hard work beats talent. If you ask me, and the reason why is because somebody who's talented, fine, they were born with that.
Find a
right?
way.
But if you keep working hard and hard and harder, you're gonna just make it.
Oh man, I'm a strong believer in that.
Yeah,
like,
me too.
I was always one like starting off. We didn't have the money, we didn't have the thing, but we always try to find a way, right? Like my mom used to always tell us that. Si lo quieres, tú lo buscas. ¿No me entiendes? Si lo quieres, tú te lo buscas.
Yeah.
That's some awesome things to remember your mom about.
Oh man, my mom was great, man. My mom, I give her a lot of props. 5 kids by herself. Didn't know a lick of English.
5 by herself.
By herself.
5 good kids or bad kids?
Good kids, man.
Okay.
Yeah, we were bad at times. But I remember, man, she had this whistle. Those street lights would come on.
man.
You see all the guys, hey man, your mom's whistling, man. They knew that whistle, bro. I used to have to come inside.
Round them up.
But now back then I used to hate it. She's like, man, she's making, man,
You're embarrassing
Mom,
me.
you're embarrassing me for your guys, man. But now I look at it and I know, like, she knew, bro. She knew, like, there ain't nothing. She used to tell me, there ain't nothing good after 10 o'clock at night.
It's true.
You know? And,
Yeah, pretty much. It's true.
Not in
It's
Chicago.
So Dennis, I wanted to ask you, so what's the difference between a new artist and versus an established artist?
Man, that's a big difference. I think a lot of these new artists, they're I call them Speedy Gonzalez, right? They just want to come in for an hour, drop some vocals, and then be like, yo, put that out. We'll do the video next week. It's like it's a process, man, of everything. A lot of people don't understand like the beat making process and the producers, right, and all of that. You bring the music together. You have to have the recording together. Sometimes you some of these guys come in and then they're reading. They put the paper, they're reading, and they're singing or rapping, and then they're like, and it's not the same when you know the song and you're in there and you're flowing and you're rapping and that emotion. When you're a producer, you try to capture that emotion, that raw energy. But when you're reading, you ever seen a person reading?
And
when you're in school,
it sounds like you're reading.
Yeah,
when you're in school and your teacher tells you, "Hey, can you read that paragraph?" and you're like, "The tree and
yeah.
Squirrel.
So you get that a lot. Man.
Yeah.
I get sessions that I'm just like, and then I got sessions that you have those motivated artists. But the difference between that and established season, they know the difference. They know that if their label's spending $10,000 on a session, that's $10,000.
That's right.
Yeah, you don't mess with that money.
That's right.
Right. So it's a lot different now. So before you had to spend a lot of money for studios back in the day. Now everybody got a studio in their closet, in their room. Yeah. So everything's good. Just put it out. They don't take that effort. Then sometimes when you listen to a song, then you listen to that Chris Brown, you listen to that Scott Storch, that you're like, why does it sound better? Why do they sound better than us? They put in that work. That song's probably like 2 years in the making. Versus a song that was like done in 10 minutes. Sometimes you do get that. They call them one-hit wonders, right? Like a couple of people, Soulja Boy had a couple. He made it in his room. But you rarely get that. Those are gems, right? Those are like the black gems, the diamond in the rough. Yep. You rarely get that.
That's playing lottery.
It's playing lottery. A lot of people, if you get one, man, kudos, right? But you have to put in the work. Yeah. You have to. A lot of that's the difference between a lot of these guys that are new versus the established people, especially the established people that have been there in the game for a long time, like Daddy Yankee, Don Omar. Why do you think they're still around? Yeah, they have songs. They call them librerias. They got songs that they made 10 years ago that are dropping now. It was like I had a interview. I got an interview. If you guys look on YouTube, it's with me and Daddy Yankee. Actually, I did a tour with.
Go ahead and tell that to the camera right here.
So go online, check out the Daddy Yankee interview in Telemundo Univision, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And the dates there are stamped. I'm not making it up. This is 15 years ago, and I say on there, the lady interviews me and says, "Where do you think?" Everybody's like, reggaeton pasajero. It's gonna come and it's gonna go. It's not relevant. It's just gonna be like one of those things that's gonna pass and it's gonna, reggaeton right now is the biggest influence in music, I think. You got Selena Gomez, you got all these big famous English artists that are singing English on Spanish tracks, right? You got Jason Derulo, big hits, right? If you listen to it, you're like, man, that's like reggaeton, or that's like, dembow. What? Because I, in the interview I said it, and I said it's a función. It's evolve. It's gonna evolve. It's not gonna go away. It's gonna evolve to hip hop, R&B, and I was.
Well, they said the same thing about hip hop when hip hop came out. It's a fad.
Exactly.
They thought it was gonna be just like disco.
It's pasajero. Yeah,
that was disco. They're saying that wasn't hip hop.
Exactly.
Hip hop is now. It's truth.
Yeah, and I said that a long time ago. What we were doing back then, we were. Those of you guys who remember, look up these songs. Burn It Up.
Of course.
Burn It Up with R. Kelly, right?
Yeah.
Remember that song?
Yeah.
That bringing that English into that market of the Spanish. And that song, it was a recycled beat. A lot of people don't know it.
Tell us what is a recycled beat.
Okay, so I could tell you. So we were in Puerto Rico. We worked on a song. It was called For the Benjamins. It's Looney Tunes in Puerto Rico, and we worked. It was called Mírame, Daddy Yankee. Go in there. His Looney, his sister, did a lot of like Arabic sound singing. So she did this song, and Daddy was like, man, yeah, I like that song. Let's record Mírame, mírame, ojo blanco. Remember that song?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Listen to that beat, and then go back 10 years later and listen to Burn It Up with that with R. Kelly and Wisin and Yandel.
What?
It's the same beat. Same beat.
Wow.
That's interesting. You've been doing some interesting things. You've been going to some interesting places. Like my boy across from me, right? My man, my partner would say, "Give us some spice, some good things spicy." What have you seen that you could talk about? What have you seen that it's a little
You don't want to burn your bridges, we know.
Yeah,
Hey,
absolutely. I had a couple stories.
Give us a story. Look at my
ready.
partner.
Can we get a horn? There you go.
I could tell you this story. I'll tell it. It was a while ago. I ain't gonna get in trouble.
Exclusive, baby.
This was back in the days. For those who know the Toby Love.
Yeah.
Toby Love, the bachata singer. I don't know if you guys remember the Grupo Extreme bachata. They were a bachata group.
He knows more bachata than me.
Grupo Extreme. They used to come all the time, and I had a big influence with the DJs here in Chicago. Like I had all the big DJs. DJ Nonstop, DJ Neurotic, DJ Extreme. He was my official DJ.
Shouts out to Nonstop. Love you, brother.
I love Nonstop. That's my guy. We did the Gangster Boogie, a whole bunch of stuff with the Legion Records. So for me, that was my strategy. My strategy was like, man, if I want to do something big here in Chicago, especially back then, I have to have these DJs because the DJs were huge factor in making me. Those guys, without those guys, man, like DJ Ray, all those DJs, like they're like very vital on just anything that I have done because they were playing my music every day in the clubs, and they were like, "Oh, call me." So one day, the tour manager was like, "Hey, we love these songs that you're playing. You got a song with Do or Die?" Man, what? Like, we hear it in the club all the time. These DJs play. I want you guys to open up these shows for us. So, me and my brother was like, okay. Like, we're singing Casa Puertorriqueña with 10 people, 5 people, Casa Puertorriqueña. You know what I'm saying? Bandera, bandera. Yeah. That was our highlight, man. Bandera, bandera. We got to get ready for the Bandera, bandera show because, we had massive people there. We used to sell our CDs there. But now, things changed, man. We got this noise with the DJs, and then now we started getting these shows. So Toby Love had a big hit, real big hit with Soy Igual Que Tu with Lexi Fito. Had a big song. So I was dating back in the day. I had my girl. So she would come to the shows, because she was always like, oh, I want to come to the shows, she just want to check on me, whatever. Yeah. So I would be like, my brother would be like, I don't think it was a good idea. So he would like tell me like not to do stuff, but yeah, I wouldn't listen to him anyway. But she comes to the shows, whatever. So we were on a tour. So when you get into tours with people, you're eating with them, you're breaking bread with them, you're around them all the time. You go to the VIP section, you're sitting, I'm here, he's there, you got Don Omar there, yeah, we're chopping it up, And, when you have people that follow them, they're always up to something. They call them el corillo.
Yeah.
They're always something, If I'm the artist, I'm not going to go up to someone and be like, hey, do this for me. They're going to be like, mira, hágame esto. Yeah. And they're going to go and do it. So one day we're getting ready. We're opening up for it was Don Omar at the Chromium nightclub, Grupo Extreme, and Toby Love, and we were the opening. So that was a really good lineup. It was sold out, packed. Place was packed. It's great show. So we're there, whatever. I'm getting ready. I'm doing my little push-ups on the side. I'm getting ready, getting maquillage.
Get your swole on, getting that swole on. Yep.
Yeah, back in the day, right? Getting my jewelry on, and one of my guys comes. He was my dancer. He's like, "Hey, I don't know what's going on over there, but something's going on over there." I was like, "Bro, where's the security?" where's my, because I had a security guy. But my security guy's always like flirting with the dancers. And I'm like, you my security or you gonna go do stuff with this
Was
team?
security family?
Yeah, he was family, man.
Security
Rest in
girls,
peace,
that's what
man.
he's doing.
Rest in peace, JB, man.
Oh,
He was one of my guys, man. He was always with us. But he was a goofy dude, man. But he was a big guy. You see him, he'd be like,
And you're pretty tall yourself.
yeah, I'm 6 feet, man. I'm a pretty big guy. But I'm the artist, man. I ain't trying to be like these guys nowadays. Like they're out there fighting and stuff. So, anyways, like the guy's like, hey, you know what's going on? What's the problem? And my guy was like, man, that's D-Wise's girlfriend. Like, why you guys are like trying to get her number? She's telling you no and da 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 da. So then so I was like, what's going on? So I go to my girls like, hey, what's going on? Like I'm trying to get ready for a show. ¿Qué es lo que está pasando? So then el grupo era de Toby Love. El pana de él, el amigo de él, so his friend, el corillo. So like trying to get at my girl, like wrote Toby's Love's number on the paper and then gave it to my girl. My girl was like, hey, at the time, that was my girlfriend, right? She was like, I guess she didn't want to get put in the spot, so she took it, whatever. She didn't want to make a big scene or whatever. But then they kept trying, and then my dancer was like, no. So it started getting like a big thing. So, me, I got heated right there. That's what, So I grabbed the damn paper and I saw his name on it. So I go up to him, boom, se lo tiré en la cara.
Wow.
Y él, cabrón. Oh, my bad, I'm not supposed to
go
be.
ahead.
So he's like, no, ¿qué te lo pasa? Tú estás abriendo por mí. I was like, I don't care, bro. Like,
This was Toby Love talking to you.
yeah, so now it became bigger, right? It became the two artists now. And this was like, Toby Love wasn't like the biggest,
Yeah.
So, but he was, it was pretty known.
Tiró en cara que,
Yeah, I don't care who you were,
in
bro.
my city,
Yeah,
first
you
of
in
all.
my city,
Yeah.
first of all.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? You got your boys over here. So I
Yeah.
grabbed the paper and it was like a real big thing. Like the promoter came.
This is before you perform.
This is before I performed.
Oh.
I thought I was gonna be like, pack it up, guys. We're gonna have to, we're gonna have to dip now. So it was like a big thing. They separated us, and then I remember William Donald was like, ¿Qué pasó ahí, Pablo? I was like, no, es que, ¿sabes? No, eso no se hace. ¿Sabes? Él sabe mejor que eso. So we kind of patched it up or whatever, but we didn't perform that day.
You didn't perform.
No, we didn't perform. We ended up having to leave. So
Because of the situation you had to.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we had to leave, and because they're paying, dude.
Yeah.
They're paying, dude. They're not paying me. We're opening up.
So
a lot of
he
the
could
time-
say, hey, we don't want him now.
yeah, boom.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, basically. Yeah, it was like a big thing. But and then like the next week, they were like, oh no, like we got the story from what had happened or whatever, and we want you back on.
Okay.
So then we ended up squashing it. He's like, no, mala mía, era que sabe que.
Yeah.
Sabe. The thing is like,
No sabía.
Esa cosa no sabía, entonces lo otro.
I saw you kiss her, but I thought it was for everybody.
Yeah, exactly. They call them like groupies, like,
Yeah,
oh,
of
you
course.
era un groupie.
Yeah.
Era un groupie tuya, tuyo. Then, my guy was like, hey, you shouldn't bring your girl around.
Your brother did warn you.
They did warn me.
Your brother did warn you.
No, he did. He was like, I told you. And he was the worst one, bro. Dancers I went through now. Nah, I just playing.
So
So putting his stuff out there. Though.
How long did you and that girl stay together?
Maybe like a couple years. It was like maybe 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
Like we were like not official but official. Yeah, it was a lot of songs. A lot of songs came out
Of that situation?
Of that situation, yeah. Of that relationship actually.
So what song, top of your head right now, was your most famous one? And can you sing it for us right now?
Yeah, well, we had one called Lo Que Tú Sientes.
Okay.
It was an actual love song. It was like about her actually.
Okay.
Then we had Rock Your Body featuring Do or
You
Die.
can't say her name, right?
No.
But she know if she's watching this, she knows who she is because she knows the situation.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. Yeah. But yeah, so we had that. And then we had Rock Your Body, which was featuring Do or Die. It was a big hit for us.
How'd it go?
Which one, Rock Your Body or Lo Que Tú Sientes?
Both.
Okay, well, lo que tú sientes, I'll sing the hook. So it'll be like, lo que tú sientes ya pasó, lo que tú quieres, mi amor. Un hombre que te pueda entender y lo puedo yo. Te dañaron el corazón, agárrate de mi brazo, vuelve, vuelve mi amor. So,
Awesome,
man,
awesome, awesome.
yeah, the little vocals there.
So now you're doing one with Do or Die now.
Yeah.
So that sounds a little bit differently than
It's
that.
a lot different. Yeah.
How you switch like that, man?
Yeah,
How
yeah,
you
yeah.
go from like
The love.
Spanish to like do or die, man?
I just get into the mentality is like when I write, I always write things that happen or situation or what people like want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes you got to get into that. You can't just, you
That
know,
character, right?
yeah. And I always try to write stuff that's like 100% true.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't write about having $1 million
If you ain't
and
got
We ain't got it.
Ferraris,
We
and
ain't
then you
got
see
it.
my
But
videos.
that
If
was
you
the-
go to my videos, you'll see them. They're all about heartbreak, love, struggle, partying.
So you're a lover, not a fighter.
Yeah, definitely about fight, but those who know me don't know I get down. But no,
So I want to hear that Do or Die song. How did it sound like?
so it was like a Spanglish. So it's like rock your body, body, move your body, body. If you're body, body, back your body, right. Your body, body, move your body. Cause we're rocking all night. So and it's just like we had Johnny P singing.
So where can
some
people
hook.
find that?
Man,
Because if it's Do or
on
Die
the
song, it's
Gangsta-
out there, right?
On the Gangsta Boogie, remember Gangsta Boogie? Gangsta Boogie.
Yeah, yeah,
Gangsta
yeah.
Boogie. On the
That's
Gangsta
old
Boogie CD on the Legion Records.
Okay.
Yeah, that was one of the
Was
songs
there
that
ever?
was,
I'm sorry to cut you off. Is there ever a video for that?
man, that's another big story. Yeah. So we were signed to Atlantic Records. That was our breakout song. We did Daddy Yankee when he had La Gasolina song. We performed 60,000. That was the highest. Man, I forgot my lyrics. Like I saw the people, they look like ants. I'm talking to my brother, and my brother's looking at me. He's like, "Yo, you ready to go on?" And I'm like, "Bro, I forgot my words." And he's singing the words. He's singing the words with me. And Zion, Zion from Zion Lennox, they just got off stage, and he's giving me the mic, and I'm like, bro, I'm like, boom, just went white, bro. I was like, that was the first time, because I'm like, looking at my brother, I'm like, bro, I'm used to singing in front of like 20, 30, 100 people tops.
Right.
You're talking about 60,000 at the Allstate Arena.
I was gonna say that's a stadium.
So we were breaking out, man. We were breaking out. We were doing big things, and so we did that song. We were about to do the video. We were signed. I recently signed my contract. I was 23 years old, multi 6-figure contract.
Wow.
I was about to take off, man.
About to do it.
Yeah, I was about to take off, and boom. And my mom told me something too. I remember my mom was like, "Cuidado, lee todo. Ten cuidado, ten cuidado, ten cuidado." Because the industry I was in and the people that were around, I didn't know. I was just into the music, A lot of these big companies, they're into stuff that, I'm not going to get involved in that stuff. But all I know, I woke up one morning, had FBI in my house.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty.
Can you talk about that or not?
I could talk a little bit about it. Yeah, the case is over with, but yeah. So basically, the label I was under got indicted, like drug trafficking, a bunch of stuff that the upper management and labels were involved with. I was never involved in none of that stuff, but it's always involved with the music stuff. But since it's, all together, and then the contract went, the tours went,
Gone. The money went.
money,
The money went as
cars,
well.
money, cars.
Wait.
Everything.
You had to give it up?
Everything.
You had to give it up,
Yeah.
even though you were legit.
Yeah.
Because it was funded with drug money.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't want nothing to do with it, to be honest with you. Like I was just like, I was like, I didn't know. Like I said, I was 20, 21, 22, 23, around there. That's the time frame.
So what's
'Cause
the bounce back? What's the bounce back after something like that happens to you?
Man, the bounce back was very messed up because, so I signed a contract with Atlantic Records. Atlantic Records with Warner had the contract with the label, which was the Legion Records. It's public records. You guys can look it up. I'm sure you guys have.
Yeah.
But so it gets frozen. They do it's called the shelf. They put the artists on shelves, and we had artists. We had Do or Die. We had Turtle Banks. We had Rick Chilla. We had Willie. I don't know if you remember Willie from Making the Band. Making the Band. Willie Taylor.
He's from Chicago too.
Really, Jeremiah.
Okay.
Chi-Town.
Yeah.
We had all those guys.
Chi-Town.
All those guys on the label, and then shelf because of all that stuff that was going on. A lot of stuff happened. One of the guys from Do or Die went to, he got locked up. Below, he served, a year or 2 years or something like that. Just a lot of stuff. Just like a roll. It happens like just in an instant. And you're talking about, you're doing city tours, LA, New York, Florida, Chicago. Like you're doing tours of 60, 10, 20,000 people, and then
Gone.
just like that. Poof. Yeah, man. And then they shelved me. So I was 6 years. I couldn't use the likeness of my name.
Until no DYs.
No DYs. So DYs had to go bye-bye. For 6 years. I couldn't use any of the material that I had created for over, 2.5 years. 2 to 3 years of all the material that I was in the studio writing, I couldn't use. And then it was a 360 deal. So that's another thing, right?
That's
a lot of these
bad.
new guys don't know about that stuff.
360s.
They were taking money out of everything. Then I had managers taking money. I had a role manager. I had them handling
But
stuff.
what money? Because they took it.
Well, no,
So-
you're talking about show money.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's another revenue. So
Okay.
those are all the different aspects of where an artist and a producer makes money. So remember, an artist makes money off of the signing bonus that they get, right? They give you a bonus, but guess what? That bonus, you got to pay it back. People don't know. Like people be like, oh, I got $100,000 signing bonus. You got to pay that money back. They give you that to pay for your videos, for your clothes, for
Your
photo
expenses.
shoots,
Yeah, yeah.
expensive,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
you can make them money.
Right.
Because they're paying you. You got to get that, acute that back for them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what happened. A lot of that stuff was funded, was taken back. I had to pay back a lot of money. It's crazy, man. It's a crazy time. It's talking about 6 years of my life that I couldn't
Wow.
do anything with that likeness. I could come back with like a different name, which some artists do sometimes. They come back with a different artist name, formerly known as blah, blah, blah. And then they, kind of like Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift just went through that.
Really?
Yeah, she just remastered all her songs because her manager.
I heard that one. Yeah.
Her manager like did some shady stuff, man. So that happens a lot.
Wow. Even with she's already a millionaire. I think she's a billionaire right now.
Oh yeah, she's
The
probably,
last tour she did, I think it was over $1 billion she made.
oh yeah, she's I think broke Michael Jackson's record. I think.
Yeah.
Like,
She
sales.
went bigger than Beyonce.
Oh yeah, but she even went through it. She even went through it.
B
No,
or Taylor?
Taylor.
Right.
Like Taylor, like had to like redo a lot of her songs because she couldn't use none of her songs. Remaster. She had a clause though.
That is
Whoever was backing her, they did the right thing. 'Cause they made sure that there was like a clause for remastering and all
Right,
that.
right.
Because you own masters. That's another thing, right? Your masters, who writes. Because a lot of these artists, they don't write.
Right. That's correct.
Like
Somebody else does it.
Rihanna, Justin Bieber. You can name them. All the
Beyonce.
big ones. Like Ed Sheeran, he's one of the Neil. I don't know if you know Neil.
But Neil, you're talking about
writes.
Neil.
Neil.
Puerto Rican black Neil.
Yeah.
Okay. But he writes, right?
He writes. Yeah. So that's why you don't see them like performing and doing stuff because they make more money doing that. And they write songs like Ed Sheeran wrote, "Love Yourself" for Justin Bieber. He's making so much money off of that. He's fake kind of going in the background because they make more money writing and stuff like that. So that's why I went. That's the route I took. I took that route since I had that legal thing for that long because I was signed, man. I signed a 10-year contract. So it was a 10-year contract, 3-album release, all the good stuff. So I was going to be set for like 10 years. But, a lot of that stuff that I did with them, which was the show money, right? They couldn't, the 360, they take out all that merchandise. We had shirts, hats, all that. We had to pay them every time we sold merchandise.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a bad deal, man. But you live and you learn, right? But so now I was like, you know what? Like I said, right? I always have that ace of my sleeve, right? It's like, okay, I won't use that. I'll just be a producer. So now as a producer, right, I produce all my music. I take a cut of all that.
Nice.
Right? I take a cut out of that. Terrence Howard said it the best with Hustle and Flow, right?
I heard about that.
You heard about that?
Yeah, man, that was bad.
Same thing.
Yeah,
He made $5,000 for that whole lick.
that's horrible.
Multi-million-dollar soundtrack, all that. Labels took it all.
And he got back 5Gs,
5Gs.
something like that. Yeah,
Yeah, he has lawsuits and all that stuff, but he has money to pay for all that.
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, that song went number one.
They whoop
right?
that trick. Yeah, and they put it.
everybody's playing that.
Yeah, man. So that's why, like for me, my advice to those out there that are doing music, and that they do it for fun, because that's what we do, right? And we're doing everything for fun, but learn the business, because it's called the music business. At the end of the day, you know, those that say you're your friends and all that, cool, but hey, here you go. Here's a contract, managers, all that stuff.
When the money comes in the mix, you gotta do it the right way.
Absolutely.
You have to do it the right way.
You know, that was actually one of the questions I had for you. I had a question where, like, say, these young people out here want to get into music. What piece of advice would you actually give them?
Man, the advice that I would give everyone that wants to get into music business, or you know, start rapping or singing or producing, even producing, is get your business in order. Get, you know, and that's one of the good things that I was going to talk to you about. Like, you know, I just signed Monday, actually. Signed
This Monday?
Yeah, this
Yeah.
Monday. I just signed
what?
to Sony Publishing Music Group.
No way. All right. Congrats.
Y'all went for that.
Bless you, man.
Yeah.
Sony, that's pretty big.
Yeah, it's a big deal, man. So, you know, even them with my ASCAP and all that, ASCAP, BMI, those are all publishing deals, right? Those are things that when you go to people, when you go to a big company and you don't have those things in order, and you don't have your publishing, your writing credentials, you don't have your
You're signing your rights away, right? Basically, your livelihood, right?
Yeah, your work.
Who you are.
your work,
Your
man.
name, who you are,
Yeah.
whatnot. So when you sign a 360, that's what you're signing away.
You're signing away you. They own everything. They unless you do the right thing right in the beginning, which is copywriting your name. So like for example, like there's a few DYs out there, actually, but I was the first. I have that name copywritten. So I just got like a DM like 2 years ago by a guy. His name, he was going off of DYs, and he was like, "Yo, you got my name." And I'm looking at his stuff, and I'm like, "Bro, you 2 years, like 10 years too late, bro."
You tell them?
Yeah, I'm like, I've been using that 15 years. If you can go back 15 years, I'll stop using it.
Never heard from him again.
Never heard from him again.
So you say you went into producing, man.
Yeah.
So
Just started doing more production after the whole shenanigans.
you won an award for that? For being a producer?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the name of that award?
I won the Chicago Music Award producer. I won it's called the Chicago Music Award for Best Producer of the Year.
Awesome, man.
And that song actually it had Akon on it.
Really?
Yeah, and RPM. Yeah, I worked with Akon. Worked with Jim Finkel. He owned the steel mill. I don't know if you guys know the steel mill that's down there on
Sounds familiar.
Halstead. It's a big company. He opened up a record label, and he had a guy named RPM. And then they contacted me. They were like, "Hey," and that's when I first got out of that contract. They're like, "Yeah, we want to produce a song, and we have Akon."
Wow.
I was like, "Akon." Like, send it to me.
Smart move, man.
Yeah. So I
Smart
did
move.
that. It did good. It did good. They didn't promote it the way they should have, but that was at the time when Akon was popping. You know, he had Locked Up. He had a couple songs. I was able to produce that, and you know, I still get checks from that.
Really?
Yeah, I still get checks from that.
That's a great feeling, man. Just opening up the mailbox.
Yeah,
and
just
seeing money
He still gets
deposited.
checks for that, man.
Yeah.
He's gonna treat.
Yeah,
He's gonna,
the other day it was funny. Like, you know, me and my girl, we'll go. I'm opening up my mail, like you said, and I'm like, ooh, we're going to Longhorn today on ASCAP. You know, I get a $50 check. Huh? Yeah, I get a $50 check here and there. You get, if you have your stuff in order, you get paid. You get paid.
Yeah,
man.
there was an artist. Remember Rufio from Peter Pan?
Yeah.
Rufio, that artist.
Yeah.
I used to watch his Facebook. I think it was like little snippets where he'll open an envelope up and see how much is in there, and he from finding out what the check was. He'll either go to McDonald's.
Yeah.
He'll go to eat something like a steak. It depended on the check.
Right, it depends on the check. Right.
And he'll pull it out. He's like, "Yeah, we're going to Red Lobster today."
Right. I always tend to use if I for my music stuff, musically, if I ever make music money off of music, it goes right back into music because I have my LLC. Like I said, have your stuff in order.
Yeah.
I put and then I write it off at the end of the year. I try to maintain that. Because a lot of these new guys, they start buying prendas and cars and like me, I invested, man. I bought my building. I paid off my car. My brother lives in Florida. He has his house out there with a pool.
Nice.
Like music saved us, man. Like we're kids, bro. We're kids from about bottom. When I'm talking about bottom, I'm talking about bottom. That song bottom started at the bottom. Like, bro,
know bottom.
I'm talking about.
Well, me and Jay know bottom.
Bro,
we know 70s and 80s bottoms.
And everybody that knows me, they know. Like, our playground was an empty lot with we used to slide busted bottles. We used to have stitches, all types of stuff. Come home with cuts. And I was like, "Qué pasó?" I was like, man, you got hit with a bottle that flew off the top of the. I
was jumping on that mattress over there.
Yeah, we're
doing flips.
up the mattress and fell.
But going through that gives you character, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it builds character. You know what? Nowadays, you can't even get kids out the house because everybody's on the Wi-Fi, right? Back in the day, fulano, come outside. Let's go bike riding, and everybody wanted to be outside.
Let's go jump garages. We're gonna jump garages down the alley.
You remember the crates, the milk crates?
Oh yes.
We used to make them basketball.
Oh, yeah.
We used to nail them to the trees.
To the trees or the street posts.
Yeah,
the street posts in the alley, right?
Yeah, we used to be playing, bro. We used to follow the milk carton guy. The guys with the milk cartons. We used to be, hey, can we have that?
Because you could get money if you deposited, right?
Yeah.
You could get like some. So as kids,
really?
you would be, you used to get money.
We used to have a whole bunch of that stuff.
That and the wooden pallets.
And the wooden pallets, man. And the newspaper and everything. So you used to hustle back in the day.
I'm telling you, it's not the same. Wow. It is not the same, man. It is a different world. The music industry has changed so much. And I think it's in a good way and in a bad way. You always have two things, right? But I just feel like it's oversaturated. Yeah. Like it's just a lot of music, but there's not a lot of quality music out there right now.
Which brings me into this track that you made, a song called Sobre Fuego. Tell me about that.
Man, well, Sobre Fuego is the new stuff that I'm creating now.
Really?
It's a demo. That was actually how I got my deal.
Really? It was that song. I actually heard it.
Yeah, D-List is on Spotify. And
I heard it.
Produced.
I love it.
You like that?
Oh, yeah. I like that.
Would we be able to play that?
Yeah.
On our podcast?
Absolutely.
Okay, the artist said we could do it so nobody could come at us.
Well, you might get flagged copyright because
you probably will.
You are going to get flagged.
You'll probably get flagged, but I'll give you like the IP number.
Okay.
Yeah.
You should be fine.
Absolutely. Yeah. Hey, man, I love that song. Great work, man.
Thank you, man.
Another thing, since you signed to Sony Music Group, is that what it is?
Yeah.
I went to BeatStar, and I took a look at a few of your tracks, and there was La Bachata. I like that one. Yeah. I think that was fire. So let me ask you this. And that's a platform where for those that don't know, that's a platform where you could actually go and purchase a beat, right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Okay. So now that you signed to Sony Music Group, is yesterday's price still today's price?
That's why I did.
Did the price go up?
Yeah, no. I think the platform that I'm able to have with the BeatStars and the publishing deal, everything comes full circle. You can put prices on there. I always put negotiate price. If you go onto the BeatStars, it's on my Instagram, Dennis Colon. There's I go by Mixed by Cole on there. It's more the production side of the things because D-Wise is the artist side of of me, right? So you kind of have like a two-sided thing. But you go there and it says negotiate price.
Okay.
Right. So I typically every price is different, depending on what it is. If a label comes at me and they say, hey, we want to do this, well, we have to talk. We have to see what your budget.
Right.
My brother taught me this. My brother taught me this. Raul Colon. Oh, he's a big executive.
Shouts out to Raul.
Shouts out to my brother Raul. He's always taught me this, and it's like you always have to have a budget. When you go to negotiate and you talk about business, you have to have a budget. If you talk about music videos, what's your budget? Well, that's the first thing they're gonna ask you. It's like, well, you're gonna have a yacht, you're gonna have this. You have to have a budget to pay for all that, right? So I always talk to the artists about that. Just have a budget in mind. Like, well, what do you want to do with this? If you buy, let's say the bachata, right? You like the bachata? Well, guess what? The bachata is a little different than, let's say, a hip hop track or a salsa track. You could talk to my good friend Ricky Lewis about that.
Shouts out to Ricky.
Shouts out to Ricky Lewis. But if you talk to them, like, you know, different producers, different artists, bachata is different. You have live instruments. You have to bring in people.
I see. There's more production.
There's more production. It's more is más difícil because now you have to bring in a guitarist. Maybe I can defend myself with the guitar and throw it on there. But now you're talking about bass. I don't play bass, but I can get somebody to play bass. But guess what? He charges $100. So that's right there is $100 for that instrument.
Right.
So if you got like a salsa, chacho, salsa all live, right? You need a conguero, and you know my good a timbalero, a guitarist, a bass player, a piano player, a trompa, saxophone. Chacho, that's right there is like if $100 each instrument, that's already $900 for just the salsa, and that's just the instruments. Not talking about recording time. How long does it take? 40, 50 an hour.
An engineer.
That adds up. So when you ask me that question, what's your budget?
So it depends on who, like for instance, a label got a bigger budget or whatnot. If it's somebody like, let's say art scale, right? And we love the music, right? But we're not big like the labels are, right? Would it be accessible to us?
It would be accessible. Yeah, it would be accessible. There's MIDI. Right? There's a MIDI, which is like an organic sounds. And I always tend to say, use these as a demo reference. Right? So you can get a trompeta. You go online, get VST, like a plugin, as a trumpet sound or whatever. And sometimes those sound good depending on the song, right? If it sounds good, it makes sense, But when you're talking to these bigger labels and you present them, they probably want to, like I just had this with a girl from London. Not so long ago, she hit me up, wanted to do a song. I produced a song for her. The label called me up like 2 days later. They're like, we like the idea, but we want to redo the whole thing. Can you send us the stems? Right? For those who don't know what stems are.
Yeah, I'm looking at you like, what is the stem?
Right. Stems are the actual file of the music. So like if it's a piano, so from start to finish, we just want that piano sound. So from start to finish, we want the saxophone sound. Everything tracked out individually. Why they want that? Because that's the master. That's the master of the music. So they can go and say, you play trumpet, you play saxophone, here's the stem of this saxophone. We want you to redo that, but add flavor to it. Make it better. So now, right, the beat maker takes over and produces that. So that's
based
how that,
off of that.
Based off of that demo.
So that's like the foundation, and they just built on top of that.
Yeah,
right there.
I just did that with an artist named Freddie Kento. His father's really famous.
I both had them both at AG Lounge when I used to run AG Lounge.
Yeah, I produce, I would say like 80% of his music.
Wow.
All the salsa stuff, and a lot of people hit me up. They be like, "You do salsa?" I'd be like, "I get it done."
I do what makes money.
Yeah, and if I can't do it, I'll find somebody to do it. You know, it's what makes sense. So like sometimes he'll call me and be like, "Man, hey, mira, tengo esto, no puede ser." Yo le hago MIDI, and then he has his musicians. You know, he has his people. He goes to Florida, goes to Dominican Republic. It's another place, you know, that we go to, and he gets those musicians to do what I just did, but they enhance it, they make it better. And that's another thing where a lot of producers don't do. A lot of producers don't like to work like that because they are afraid that someone would take their stuff, right? Oh, that's my music. I don't want to. But if you have what I just said, right, your business in order,
Yup. You're gonna make money off of that.
it's not
no
gonna
matter-
happen.
Oh.
You're gonna make money off of it because you have it in order.
Because legally it's yours.
Right. They had to go
Exactly.
through him.
So if they want to make money off of it, they got to take care of the man.
So no 360 deals
No
for
three
you.
man. Throw,
You hear
I
that,
don't even
kids?
think it
No
exists.
360 deals. If you guys are young artists, if you guys are, see, I know what it is. You're a kid, you're starving, you want the attention. You see 6 figures, $100,000. They give you this big check or this cash, and you're like, holy crap, you never seen that? Well, think about it. If they're offering you $100,000, that means you're worth more, right? So a 360, they're just going to you're giving them your life away.
Yeah.
Great advice, man.
Yeah,
Great advice.
And it's like a, I think they made that because the industry was at a dip. It was they were just trying to like sign a lot of artists. I think Capitol Records actually started that, if I'm not
360.
mistaken. Yeah, it's like a 360 revenue deal. So basically, they give you all this money, but you have to like pay it back, or they dip into your money.
They give you in advance,
What's a
right?
360?
It sounds to me everything.
But what is equivalent? Like a math equivalence for 360? What is that? Do you know?
Break it down because I got an idea, but
Like
I don't want to sound
Okay.
stupid right now.
Yeah. Okay, so
It's a circle.
360 is a circle.
Right.
Right.
It's a full circle.
Right.
So basically, that's what they're saying. They're saying they're gonna make money
It's coming back. full
all around. So what if you do a show? We want this percent. If you sell a CD merch, we want this much. If you go to a show on TV, what's TV? What is that? It's a different method of music production, right? But what's it called? It's called a score.
That's right.
People don't know about that.
Right.
Artists don't know about score. You talk to an artist and you be like, "Hey man, I heard your track on EA Sports. That's money, bro. You're not getting money off that? Why? Because you signed this 360 deal. You just gave it up." I have a friend that NBA Jam, NBA back in the day, NBA
Yeah.
Jam. You remember that?
Yeah. Who?
They
Who's
had
the friend?
good music. They had great music.
He has
Do I
some
have just
stuff.
one? I'm figuring out if I know him.
No,
Okay.
he's a good friend of mine, man.
Chicago?
I'll shout him out, man. Young Hollywood. He's from Florida. He's a producer from there. He had a lot of bad experiences man, with stuff like that. He produced Fantasma for Zion.
Okay.
You remember that song?
Yeah.
He never got credit for it.
Wow.
Yeah, they took his name off. He actually had a couple songs on there, and they took his name off. That was when Baby Records was first brought out. Remember Baby Records, Arcángel de la Ghetto, all of those guys. If you look at Arcángel now, he has the baby, he has it crossed out on his arm.
I did not see that. No. I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, Baby
Okay.
Records, he has a tattoo of the Baby Records, the label. But now he has it like crossed out with a name.
Like the Ghostbusters thing.
Yeah, the Ghostbusters thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of like stuff going on with that too. That's another.
Word. But bro, so we're gonna be coming to the ending of this interview, man. We're happy that you came down and
Absolutely.
jumped down here
Absolutely,
and
man.
letting us know what you've done and what you're doing. So exactly what are you doing right now? And if you want to talk straight to our fan base, our people that are watching, what are you doing right now and where can they reach you?
Yeah, well, I'm a producer based out of Chicago and Orlando. You can reach me at the Instagram, Dennis Colon at Instagram, or Facebook. I got my YouTube. It's called Mucho Team. You can go there and check out. I got a lot of new artists there. I'm working on a couple new artists. Arla Vox, her CD. Also working on my album that I'm gonna release this year, hopefully, and then also just doing a lot of production stuff.
Cool.
Awesome.
So before we close it up, we were supposed to start with it, but we're going to do it now. These little icebreakers that I kind of forgot to do, but we're going to do them right now because they're fun. They're fun. Me and Jay are going to go back and forth on it just like we did
Well,
with Ricky.
I'll let you handle it.
Just like we
'cause
did with Ricky.
I'm not
You
ready
did
for that.
fine.
No.
He gets stuck. That's why he gets stuck.
This is your stuff. Go ahead. He does.
So here we go. You could say both or either one, but you have to give an explanation for one, whichever one you pick. So, arroz con gandule or white rice?
You can do both.
Why both? See, I got an answer for that one. Why both?
So white rice if I'm trying to like get in shape.
There you go. There you go.
And if I want to like how you say do a cheat meal, I'll do that.
There you
Okay.
go.
All
There you
right.
go.
All right. So Tom or Jerry?
Man, I like Jerry, man. Jerry was my guy.
There you go.
Yeah,
Cool.
he was always up to no good.
He was always antagonizing
Yeah,
Tom.
Tom,
and-
yeah.
Even though Tom secretly loved him, you know that.
Yeah, I think he did have love for him, man. I really,
Did you
but-
see that?
Which one?
They had the funeral of Jerry.
No.
No.
Oh, I think so.
Man.
Where he put the flower like this. or-
Yeah, bro. So they had the episode that they killed Jerry off.
Yeah.
I've not seen that, and now
Bro,
I
it's
feel really
sad.
bad about it.
It is really sad, bro. Tom cried. Like I was like cheered up.
Especially as a kid.
Yeah, they killed him off, man. They killed off Jerry.
Get out of here!
Yeah.
I'm feeling a certain way right now.
Yeah, you gotta look it up, man. It's sad.
Okay.
They had the funeral and everything.
Word.
I don't know what's going on in the world now.
So the next one,
Oh, man.
Family Guy or The Simpsons?
That's tough. Can we do both?
You do both. You gotta give a reason why.
Man, so I'll do both. Simpsons is I grew up on it. You know what I'm saying? Like I grew up on Bart,
Yeah.
Homer, and all that. We used to even have to remember Mo.
Yeah,
Mo,
yeah,
where
yeah.
he calls
Kenton,
Mo's
yeah, yeah.
and he would like he would say Seymour Butts or whatever, and you know.
Seymour Butts here.
Seymour Butts here. We used to do that. We used to call people and be like, hey, like we spent hours doing that as kids. Like,
awesome.
so I would say that was a good one. And Family Guy, man, it's just a trip. They say stuff that. Why is it okay for them to say stuff? When people we say something like
They go crazy saying stuff.
they go
But there's something
crazy.
that Tony Torres says about my partner right here, my partner in crime right here, calls him Quagmire.
Quagmire's interesting guy.
The interesting guy, man of mystery.
And The Simpsons too. They have like the premonition stuff like is crazy. Have you ever seen that stuff? Like
It's like how, and it's
how do
done
they
like
know-
10 years ago, and it's
like,
happening now.
How do they know that stuff? Like the cell phone stuff. Like even the you seen the one with the UFOs?
No,
Like they they have like it was a season where they go to the future. I think like 2025. Lisa's like the president.
okay.
And then Bart's like, I want to see the aliens, and she's like, sure. And they go down, and Homer's down there, and then they have like a bunch of like UFO stuff down there. It was like,
no,
yeah,
man.
she was president. She became president.
Y'all gotta look that up. Y'all gotta look that up. What he just
They
said.
predicted Donald Trump too.
Yeah.
As being the president.
They predicted a lot. They predicted a whole bunch.
Yeah.
So let's go back. I'm trying to think of a good ones. I wasn't prepped for this one. Reggaeton or salsa?
Reggaeton all the way, man.
Why?
That's what I grew up on. I grew up with reggaeton. I mean, salsa was my thing, but reggaeton was like my passion. I grew up with it. Like when I visited Puerto Rico for that first time, and I went to that club with my cousin, and I was like, "What is this?" You know, like the grind, el perreo.
Okay.
That just it was a big sexual like dance. You know, it's kind of like remember la lambada.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah,
It was
I'm that old to remember that. Yes.
yeah, I was like, man, it's just like lambada, but cool. So we thought lambada was like, kind of cheesy or whatever. But
See, for us old guys, that was like really risque back then.
Yeah,
it was It was risque.
yeah,
So
reggaeton all the way.
okay, reggaeton or hip hop?
I grew up on both too, man. But I actually started like with English hip hop, but I wasn't as good. You know, I found my passion with the reggaeton, so I had to be a reggaeton.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is the one and only, the incredible Dennis Colon. Put your hands together for Dennis Colon. So remember, if you're watching this, remember to subscribe, like, and comment. And remember to look him up, Dennis Colon. Also, let's one more time look at the camera and give him your info again.
Yeah, you can check me at Dennis Colon at Instagram or Mucho Team on YouTube. The track's name is Diles, Diles, the new single. And yeah.
Awesome. Okay, one more. I just thought about it. One more. Just to make Toyota or Nissan.
Ooh. I'll say Nissan, man.
Why Nissan?
I like the exports, man. I like
The exports.
yeah, I like the exports.
All
Like,
right.
I think the Toyota is like you got the twin turbo, right? You got the stuff like that, but the Nissan's more export stuff. Like
Okay.
you can twin turbo it. You can
Yeah.
do a little bit more of how you say Fast and the Furious.
Okay.
Type
I
stuff.
just mentioned it because the Latinos here in Chicago.
Toyota, right?
It's Toyota.
Yeah, Toyotas. Yeah, I like Toyotas. Don't get me wrong.
Unless you like
just-
Tony, he likes Nissans.
I like Nissans.
Word.
I like Nissans. I think you could they're just more like my style.
Word.
Yeah.
Word.
They're more my style.
All right. Well, we're out of here. This is Flavor, and we out.